So welcome to the second video in this series. I've just done a quick deal, started a new game, and I realized that I hadn't in the first video explained the menu up here, which perhaps I should. So we've got a little row of icons here, the first of which simply starts a new game. So you hit that and it does exactly that, starts a new game. The next button, the next icon along restarts the same game. Now that's quite interesting, because what it means is that if you play a game right through and you lose and you kind of think that maybe you could have won if you'd done something quite slightly different earlier on in the game, you can hit that button and it restarts the same game. Now I haven't done the maths on this yet, but I believe it's true to say that you can play this particular game for the rest of your life and never actually play the same game twice. I'm going to check on that, because there must be some maths involved which I haven't checked out yet. But anyway, let's assume that that's the case. What it means is that if you play one game and you lose, and you think, well, if I'd moved that card just earlier in the game, or I hadn't done that, or I'd made a different move, I would have won, then you can actually check that theory by going back and replaying it. Now that's a really useful thing to be able to do, because you can keep playing a game and try all the different permutations, of which there could be many, and you can figure out if it actually possible to win that game or not. So the third icon is play a different game. Well, that gives you a choice of different versions of Solitaire. I'm not going to go into that one right now. The undo the last move button is really useful, because unlike the playing card version, you can actually, as it were, cheat. You can change your mind about a move and try something different, and that's the undo button there. Strictly speaking, I think in the official rules to this game, I think once you've made a move, once you've actually played something, you're not supposed to reverse it. But you know, who knows what you do when you're privacy of your own home. The fourth, fifth, 1, 2, 3, fourth, this button here redoes the undo move. So if you undo a move and then you want to do it again, that's the button to hit. The next one is deal the next card. Well, you can do that just by tapping on it, so you don't need to use that button at all. And that eye symbol have just got some information about the it's got some hints, that's right, yeah. I'll come back to that at some point. There's other things up here. So game, you've got new game. They simply repeat the icons, but there's another one here which gives you a full screen version, but of course you can change the screen size on the game anyway in the top right hand corner as usual. You've got a choice of a toolbar and a status bar and so on. The next one just gives you the chance to deal, which you don't need, and there's also a hint button. Excuse me. There are variations here on the Canfield game, which again I won't go into right now, and there's a help button there, which probably isn't very helpful, because they rarely are, let's face it. So anyway, this is our first lay. So we've got an ace and we've got a 2, which is nice, and that also means that we've got a chance here to move a card off the 7 card rack, and it gives us another ace, which is nice. I didn't mention it the first time round, but it's always a good idea, if you've got no other reason not to do it, as it were, moving cards away from this end of the lay is a good idea, because there's more cards there, right? So the chances are greater proportionally that one of the cards you really need is hidden in one of these rather than at this end. Okay, now here's one of those choice points where you can move that 2 onto the 3. It's debatable about moving these low value cards sometimes, but this time I'm going to do it just to see what happens. That's created an empty space there, which is ready for a king should one show up. There's a jack for our queen. And now I'm gonna just drop the cursor now, because I'm actually going to play this because I've got a touch screen. I'm going to play it using the touch screen, which I much prefer. You'll still be able to see what I'm doing, so it's not a problem. So there's a 6, we can put that on the 7. There's a 4, can't play that. There's a 2, we can play that. There's a 5, we can't play the 5. There's a 10, we've only got a black jack, so we can't play that. There's a red 4, we need the 3 first. There's a queen, there's a 2, we haven't got an ace for it yet. There's a 10 for our jack. And we don't have a black 9, so we can't follow through on that one. There's the ace of diamonds, and handily the 2 of diamonds. Now, here's a case where we've actually made life a little bit more difficult for ourselves by putting that 2 on the 3, because now it's blocking the 3 of diamonds, but hey-ho. So there's a 6, we'll pop that on the 7. There's a king for our space, and that's because it's black, we can put the red queen over there. I think that's about all we can do right now. Is that right? Yes, it is. So we've got a 5. We could put that on the 6. Let's put it on the 6. Now, when you're in doubt about putting a 5 on a 6, sometimes some people don't like to put 5s out. They like to stop at 6, but you know, each to their own. But because we've got 2 black 6s, we can actually switch this. Should we need one of those 6s in a hurry, we can actually move the 5 to the other one if we haven't used it already. So there's our queen, there's our 3, we can play the 3. There's a queen, there's a jack, we can't play either of those. There's a 9 for the 10, and that means we can move an 8. Now this is again one of those choice points. We could move this 8 or this 8. Let's go for this one first. That gives us a 9. Now that 9 is not going to be particularly useful, because nothing else can move on to it. We can't play it anywhere else. So my feeling is to reverse that last play. We can use our little back reverse button, our undo button, should I say. And so instead we'll play the other 8. That gives us a space for a king, which is always important. So let's go on. A 7, we can't play that. A 9, we can't play that. A 3, we can play. 8, we can put on the 9. There's a 7 that can go on there. That's a good justification for it. There's the king. There's a 4 of diamonds. We've actually got a bit of almost a run of diamonds there, but we've got that 2 of clubs, so we really need the ace of clubs out if we can find it. There's nothing else we can do right now that's useful. There's the other ace. Good. Okay, so that clears that, and that enables us to play the 3. As it happens, there's another king under there, and that means we've got 3 kings out already, which is great. We can also play the 4 and the 5 and the 6. So that's a nice little run. What else can we do? Anything? No, nothing else we can do there. There's a phenomenon which I want to call solitaire blindness. And I've just suffered from it momentarily. I missed the fact that we could do that 9 and that 8. Okay, when you're staring at a solitaire lay like this, sometimes it's like you stare at it and you miss things, and it's really important, I think, to just every now and again just pause, take a break for a few seconds, and just look around and see if you've missed anything. And I reckon about 50% of the time I do miss something. So if you do see me miss something obvious and I don't correct myself, please leave a comment and give me a timestamp where I did it, because that could be useful to me. And by the way, don't forget to subscribe and like and all those things down there. So here's another king. We can't place the king yet because we haven't got any space. So we're going to go back to the beginning. We can play that 4. We haven't got the 5, have we? No. There's a 5 of clubs. We can't play that. There's a 10 we can't play. There's a 4 we can play. There's a queen for that king. Now there's something I don't think I've seen any so far is jacks, which is a bit worrying, because without... Oh, there's a jack. Okay, I was wrong. that means we can move that 10. Here we go. There's another jack, so we can move that 10 as well. Now we've got a space for the fourth king should he show up, and scan across to see if I've missed anything. I don't think I have. We can't play the black queen because we need a red king. We can play the 7 of diamonds. There's the red king, and there's a black queen, and we need a black. We've got a black jack. Of course, what we need is a red queen over here. We haven't got her yet. So how are we doing so far? We're missing important cards like the 3 of clubs, the 5 of spades, the 5 of hearts, and we've got the 8. We can play the 8. Okay, so there we go. Yeah, so we could get into trouble with this one. Let's see how we go. We need to shift some of these cards. We've still got 7, 8, 9 cards covered, and we're running out of cards. So we probably, this game is probably as far as it can go. I wanted to show you some possible strategies that you can use when you get into this sort of situation. So we've got a small number of cards there, but we've still got a lot covered. I would say at that point we have got no hope of winning this game, so I think we'll close that down. But there are things you can do, which is to pull things down from above. So there's our 8. Can we do anything else with that? No, we can't on this occasion. We can put a 7 across there. If we had hearts up to 7, we could play the 8. But I think no, we have to call that one a write-off. So welcome to the second video in this series, and we have 2 aces out. So we're going to play those 2 aces up to the top. We've got an 8 which can go on the 9, and that's about it. So let's play our deck, and I have no idea how this game's going to go. Of course, you never do. And one of the things you can kind of think about is at what point in a game do you abandon it? I hope I don't have to abandon this game, but some games you get to a certain point where you think, well, I'm not all the way through it by any means, but I can see that it's really not going to come out. This one is actually looking quite promising because we've only played a few cards from the deck, and we've already got quite a long way in. We've got an 8 on a 9 there. There's a queen for our king, and now we've got the jack over there. And I think we are doing okay. There's nothing else we can do there. We could put the 3 on the 4, but I'm going to resist that for the moment. 4 of hearts, no use to us, and the 5. Okay, so in this case we could put the 5 down there and the 4 across there, because as we're on a bit of a roll, it's nice to just keep that momentum going, just to see how things pan out. There's another ace, there's the 2 for it. So let's see where this is going. There's a queen, there's a 6 that can go on the 7. there's our 4th ace. So we've got 4 aces and 2 kings out so far. That's always good. Now there's a 6 that can go down there. There's a 5 that could go on that black 6. Are we going to play it? Yes, I think we are going to play it this time, because we're just 1 card up on the hearts. And we're getting ahead on the clubs now. Okay, so nothing else we can do there. There's a queen for our king, and there's a jack for our queen. So I'm going to move that over there because I like to be tidy, and we've got a 10 that can come off there. We've got a 3 up there, another king, and That's our lot, I think, isn't it? Yeah. We could move that 5. Let's move the 5. Okay, there's a 5 of clubs. So that paid off. Now we've got 3, 4, 5, 6 cards covered still. But we've only gone once through the deck. So we've got 2 runs through the deck left. Okay, there's the 2 of spades. There's the 3 of diamonds, but we need the 2. There's the 3 of spades. A jack on its own, and there's the 4 of spades, so there's the 5. We can play those. We could really do with the 2 of diamonds and the 4 of hearts soon. We can't play that. There's the 4 of hearts, so we can do the 5 and the 6. That's good. And we can also do the 6 and the 7 of clubs. And we can move that 6 across to that 7 and play the 7 and 8 of hearts. So we're doing quite well now. We could still get stuck on this though. This is no guarantees, because we've got a hidden 6 of spades there, which we would like to be able to play, but we've got no way out of that. 9's no good, queen's no good. Right, we're now on our 3rd run, so we've got to be really careful here. And I've a sneaking suspicion that we're stuck here because we've got a king missing, we've got 2 queens potentially. I'm not sure we've got 2 or 1, but at least 1 queen missing. We've got a 2 of diamonds, which is critical, missing. So what can we do at this point to... Here's one thing we can do, all right? Look at that, another king straight away. So you can pull cards off the top here and put them back in play, which sometimes helps. And that's all I think we can do. There's an 8, which can go on there, and the 9 and the 10. That's good. Now once you get to the 10s, it doesn't help. No, we can move that 9 across. There's a queen for our black king. We need a jack there before we can move that 10. We want a black 7, which we can't play out at the moment. There's a black 7, but we've got nowhere to put it. Can we create somewhere to put it? Yes, we can. There's a trick that you can do, because we are very keen to get at those last cards, and now we're down to 1 card covered. I have a feeling it must be the 2 of diamonds. 7 of hearts. So the 8 of hearts we can extract by doing this. Take the 7 across, there's the 8. We can't play the 8 onto a 9 because we don't have a red 9. There's jack, and that means we've got our last card. There it is, I was right, it is the 2 of diamonds. So now, whatever's left in here is what we're playing with, because we've now run out of deal. Okay, so what can we do here? I have a feeling not very much. I think we're stuck. We can't... what do we need? We need the 5. Okay, so to play that 5 of spades, we need somewhere to put the 4. The 3 we know is in there. It's just possible that we did something wrong. I mean, that we can switch those, but that doesn't gain us anything. We want the 9 of hearts, which means we need to move that 8 onto a 9. We can't do that because we haven't got the right cards. So this is a question where where all the cards are visible except for what's in the deck, obviously, and we still cannot play the remains of this game. So we have a choice. We can either backpedal through it one card at a time. We can do this. Let's do this to the beginning of the last deal and just see if there's anything else we could have done. There we go. Right, so there's the 3. Could we have done anything different? We know the 2 is under that 6, but we can't play the 6, and okay, we could play the 6. Let's take the 8 and the 7, play the 6. Ah, I'm wrong. It's not under there, it's under one of the other ones. Okay, let's, if we play through, what happens? No, we're still end up being stuck. Okay, one thing we can do is restart the game. Let's have another crack at this game. So welcome to the second episode in this series, and we're going to start. We've just done a deal, and we're going to put up the 2 aces that we've found on our deal, which is nice. It's always nice to have a good start like that. 3 on the 4. Are we going to play the 3 on the 4? Not this time through. Let's keep going and see what happens. We've got a 7 on an 8. Okay, we can have that. There's another 7 on an 8, and we can play that 6, which means we can play the king. Always good to get cards off this end of the deal if we can, because there's more of them, obviously. So the more cards there are covered, the more they can get in the way. There's a 5 on a 6 and a 4 on a 5. We can play those, and there's a 9 on a 10. And there's a jack on the queen, which means we can play the 10. So we are getting rid of cards over here. There's an 8 on the 9, and that's all we can do, I think. So here we go. We can't play that king yet. There's a 9 on a 10, the 8 on the 9. And that's it. There's an ace, 2, 3, which is always good. Now we've got 1 king there, 1 king there. There's a queen can go on that king. 9 can go on the 10. Black 10 can go on the jack. And we would love to clear some space for these kings that are coming through now, but we can't do anything about it right now. So, the jack can go on the thing. I missed that. Okay, the 3 could go on the 4, and that can bring out that king back into play. Then the 4 can go on the 5. Now we've got 3 kings. We've got a queen there, and now we can play that king. That's great. So we've got 3 aces and 4 kings, and only 5 cards covered still. Nothing else we can do. Oh, the 4 on the 3, of course. Okay. Right. That's it. So let's go. Queen on the king. Ace. Okay, so we've got 4 aces, 4 kings. We're in a good position. We just got to be careful we don't cause ourselves any unnecessary problems by missing things. Okay. 6 of hearts. That can go on the 7. And that means we can take that 5, which gives us the 5 of clubs. So we've got a 3, 4, 5 there. We just need the 2. 5 of diamonds. We can't play that. There's the 2. Right, 3, 4, 5. Nice. So there's the 5 of hearts. And we've got a 4 and 5 of diamonds. There's a 6 of clubs, which I obviously missed. And that's it. Queen on the king, jack on the queen, 10 on the jack. There's the 2. Great. So we've got 3 cards covered. We've got 4 kings, 4 aces. We're in a good position as long as we can move that 9. Here we go. There's the 2 and the 3 of diamonds, the 4 of diamonds. There's the 3 of spades. Jack for the queen. We could do with a black 10 now, please. There's a black 10. Right, so now we can move the 9, and we are in a good position still. 2 cards covered. We've got the 6 of hearts out, the 7 of clubs, the 8 of clubs, and the 9 of clubs. 7 of hearts. We haven't got the 5 of diamonds yet. We've got the 8 and the 9 of hearts. We can move the 10 of hearts as well. And we've got a 6 that needs to go on a black 7. Well, we could, at this point, should we choose to, there's a little, I think we can do this, hang on, 10 there, 9, 9 on the 10, 8, and that's 7, and then we can move that last card. So now we've got an 8 of diamonds. We don't need to do anything else with it. Does that solve the problem? We can put that 7 over there, move the 8 up, and the 9 and the 10. We haven't got the 5 yet. There's the 6 of spades. We need the 5 of diamonds. 6, 7, 7, 8, 9, 8, 9, 10, and we're out. Okay, that's it for this session, and I'll see you in the next one.